up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We are here at the Javits Center for the New York Auto Show, and of course, we had to start off the day stopping at the Nissan booth. And as you can see right behind me, I have something very special. This is it. This is the first time being seen here on US soil. This is the updated, upgraded, refreshed 2024 Nissan GT-R NISMO. But before we get into this all-wheel drive, twin turbocharged powerhouse, let's talk about what's going on here. Nissan, they're really reinventing themselves over the past few years, going through their lineup with some new redesigns, bringing some new models to their lineup like the Aria, and of course we can't forget about Godzilla, that car that the Australians called Godzilla, that affectionate supercar killer, the GT-R. Now what's interesting is that this car appeared at the Tokyo Auto Salon in Japan earlier this year. Now it's here in New York, and what I want to find out is, did Nissan make the right changes for the GT-R, and is it worth the price to have this kind of performance? Let's go ahead, let's dive in and find out. As you can see, we have this really cool display at the New York Auto Show, the R35 on the bottom, and up top, that midnight purple R34. I wish I could take this one home with me right now. Very, very special car. But let's talk about the one that's behind me that you could buy starting this coming summer. Now, up front, you're gonna see a new, revised, upgraded front fascia. I really like what they did with the NISMO, and that's something that I think over the past few years, there wasn't such a big difference, but you could see it here at the front end. They totally redid the whole front fascia. You'll notice more carbon fiber. So this one has the special carbon fiber package, exposed carbon fiber. There's your upgraded LED exterior lighting. And then one thing I really liked is how we have more functionality. So you have these massive, you could actually fit the Big Apple right in these open air intakes. That's for brake cooling. You'll notice that dark red, that's all part of the NISMO color. NISMO, what does that stand for? Nissan Motorsports. And this definitely has a lot of that pedigree underneath the hood and underneath the sheet metal. But this front splitter, very aggressive. All of this is for functionality. And basically they took their GT3 GT-R race car and brought all that goodness to the street going version. You'll notice across the front how we have that revised center section. They tried to make this look a little bit more like the R34, the GT-R badge. Love the way they did the NISMO badge, actually sunk it into the carbon fiber to not mess up the aero. But definitely the exposed carbon fiber top and bottom not only looks good, but like I said, we're talking about saving weight, giving more downforce, and stopping air from going underneath the vehicle. Now, the biggest news performance-wise is going to be this vehicle has two differentials. Remember, it's an all-wheel drive vehicle. We have now a limited slip diff up front. That's something new. I think a lot of people already thought it was there. I thought it was already there, but now the NISMO has a limited slip diff up front to get the power to the ground. And if you want to see what like a more street going version, like the T-Spec, I actually did a review of that one yesterday in Central Park. I'll leave the link at the end of this video for that one. Now, as we kind of rise up onto the hood, I don't have to get up very high because of how low it is. Full carbon fiber, you got your functional NACA ducts, which are going to feed air for that twin turbocharged power plant. And I'm telling you right now, this color combination with the exposed carbon fiber, I almost want to lay on top of it and just rub all over it because it looks that sexy. Now, as we kind of come around the bend and we got this cool display that we got to work around, what do we got going on? Guess what? We have the good stuff. Ray's Forge wheels. So a company called Ray's that makes wheels for racing for years and years and years. We have them on this GT-R 20-inch. Look at the way it's got the NISMO badge engraved in it. I love the red pinstripe. The forged wheels are going to be lighter and stronger than cast aluminum. And then you'll also notice the New York pizza size carbon ceramic rotors. Brembo setup, full race ready, two-piece rotor. Those rotors are over 16 inches in diameter. And of course, you also have that massive Twinkie size caliper up front. That's really going to allow this car to shed speed like a husky sheds hair. One of my other favorite things is as we kind of rise up, you can see new fenders. They're wider and you have extra aero. So we have the carbon fiber. Air is gonna come out the top of the fender. Now, if you're wondering, well, Joe, why do we have that? Why would we need that kind of aero? The reason why is it stops lift. Air could get trapped inside the wheel well when you're going down your favorite twisty road or you're doing a track day, and that could cause lift. We don't want lift. We're not flying a plane. We want to be planted. We're in a fast moving car on the road. So that's what that's going to do. It's sort of like what you find on the GT3 RS from Porsche. Same type of thing. This is race car aerodynamics on a street going car. Of course, they revised all the suspension. And then coming down the side, Lori's gonna swing around, show you that functional side vent. Remember, all about channeling the air, the GT-R badge. Along the bottom sill, we have full carbon fiber. So they did a great job taking the carbon fiber from the front to the side, and wait until we get to the back. Up top, carbon fiber roof. Now, if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the purpose of a carbon fiber roof? Carbon fiber roof is actually gonna shed weight, but it also lowers your center of gravity, because now, instead of having an additional 8 to 10 pounds of weight up top, it's actually gonna lower our center of gravity. And then of course, the carbon fiber not only looks good, but on the sides, it's gonna help channel the air down the side of this vehicle. We do have those flush mounted door handles. Love the way that that's been in existence since 2008 when the R35 first was seen. Out back, you can see that same amazing great brake setup. Like I said, all 4 corners, no expense has been spared on this thing. And then as we swing around the back, here's some of those differences. Look at this back rear fender, how they squared it off. You have your carbon fiber with the aero, and then my favorite part is when you get to the back, and this is where a lot of the competition is gonna see this vehicle. So wide. Took the carbon fiber and brought it all the way down. Those titanium exhausts, we got a full titanium exhaust, of course, more carbon fiber than a freaking race car. I mean, look at this. Rear diffuser, fully functional with the red striping, ties it in all together. Even the NISMO badge, I love the way that looks. And guess what? This is the first GT-R to have the new Nissan badge. And as we kind of rise up, get ready to have your freaking Nathan's hot dog eating competition. Happens right down in Coney Island every 4th of July. Look at this. Kobayashi could not finish off the amount of Nathan's hot dogs that we could put on this rear wing. You'll notice it uses the swan neck attachment. So what that does is that by having it mounted this way, it gives you just as much downforce, but less drag. That's technology that they took from race cars, plus the fact that it looks so damn good. Even the way they extended out the trunk area. I mean, look at this. This is all specific to the NISMO. Absolutely mind-blowing with that quad round taillight. It's been there since day one. But why don't we go ahead? We got the keys. Let's pop the hood to this Godzilla. All right, guys, I'm getting out of the way because check out underneath this carbon fiber hood is the heart of Godzilla. That's that twin turbo V6. Now, what's interesting is that I know a lot of people might say, well, Joe, they have not changed really the GT-R in so many years, but this is one of the things I'm glad they did not change. So you have your intake runners, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, for that 6-cylinder, the V6 twin turbo. Love the engine cover with the red and the NISMO badge. You can see the carbon fiber bracing. A lot of times you'll see on a lot of other brands where they have like a big, huge strut tower brace. This actually has carbon fiber to stiffen up the front end. But what you're looking at is gonna be that 3.8 liter twin turbo V6 that pumps out 600 horsepower, 481 pound-feet of torque. We have more boost from the turbos. And of course, we have that limited slip diff up front that's gonna help us get the power to the ground. It is mated still to that shifting, slick shifting, 6-speed DCT, dual clutch transmission. What's fascinating is that, remember, Nissan was one of the first to bring to a production vehicle the dual clutch transmission, and now we're still seeing it on the GT-R. I know some people might say, well, Joe, they need to update it. It needs to be an 8-speed, it needs to be a 20-speed. I don't know. I think they may have found the secret sauce recipe. They may have got with Colonel Sanders and got that special recipe, because this thing is putting down the power with all-wheel drive. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what about 0 to 60. I like to brag to my friends how fast I could go 0 to 60. You're looking at about 2.7 seconds 0 to 60 in this Nismo. It has launch control, but why don't we go ahead, let's get inside and see what's special about this Godzilla. All right, guys, we're inside this 2024 Nissan GT-R NISMO. This thing is pretty killer, I have to admit. And you can say all you want about how they really didn't change it that much since 2008, 2009, but I don't know, man. It's got a cool feel. I guess that's just me, old man Raiti, liking the more retro setup. But I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I want to buy one of these. Well, guess what? They're coming. They're coming later this summer. And if you're wondering what price are we looking at, no official pricing, but expect this to be a little over $220,000. But let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels. Love the leather, the red stitching specific to the Nismo. Yes, it's the same door panel, but it still looks good. I'm digging it, especially with the red stitching. No gloss black. You do have that nice cargo net there in the door panel. You could put a New York style bagel and have some extra cream cheese on it. That's how much space you have. And the Bose sound system. Going from the door panel to the dash, love the way they did Alcantara all over the dash. Looks like a proper supercar. The stitching, there's more of that red Nismo stitching. And then you get to the infotainment system. This is where, excuse me, I'm getting all choked up because I'm around this car. This is where it gets a little bumpy. You do have the old school system. Now, the good news is, if you still have your 2 Live Crew and your Run DMC CDs, it does have a CD player. But what I like, it's got still those Gran Turismo inspired gauges, and that's actually from the man who came up with Gran Turismo. He designed these gauges. So if you're ready to be Paul Walker and you're ready to go up against Dom Toretto, who's in that Challenger or that Charger, you got all the gauges coming on down. You do get dual climate in your supercar here, dual climate controls. We got all the special switch gear to put everything in full R mode, the suspension, the traction, the whole shabam. This is going to control that 6-speed DCT, carbon fiber on the center console. We do have a Nismo badge, which is a nice touch right there that you could stare at as you're driving out of the dealership. Good old-fashioned e-brake, 2 cup holders, and I like the way you could just make them disappear. No drinks. You're not drinking anything in my GT-R. Love the leather. Open it up. You got some felt lining. This is where you could put that sign, GT-R. You were lucky enough to meet Paul Walker at that one cafe in California that he used to hang out, and you had that 1/24 scale GT-R model, the R34 Bayside Blue. He signed it. You could keep it in there, and the felt lining won't scratch his autograph. And then the seats. The Nismo embroidery. I'm going to zonk that. They should have made the Nismo larger. Don't be ashamed of Nissan Motorsports. Love the red with the Recaros, the bolstering, full electric assist. If you want to see the back seat, watch the one with the Millennium JT spec we did. I'll leave the link at the end of this one. But why don't you get your butt over here? I got an Alcantara wrap steering wheel, not with your name on it, not with my name on it, but with the GT-R name. Come on. All right, guys. Trust me, this is where you want to be sitting. I'm lucky enough to be sitting in this beast. You do have your GT-R badge with a little bit of aluminum on the sill. Very classy. Pedal box right out of a race car. We have a nice aluminum dead pedal, brake pedal, and throttle. Would be nice if this was a manual transmission. That would have been crazy. Now, here's the great news. In these Recaros, they are 2-stage heated seats. So if you're doing your track day not too far from here in Watkins Glen and it's a cold day, you could actually turn fast laps and have the seat heater on. You could even raise and lower the bottom portion of the Recaro, and then all your other seat controls are within one knob. Very easy to modulate, even when you have your race gloves on. So if you're doing that track day, don't worry. Even with your race gloves, you can make sure that you are able to control the seat controls and really get you. Remember, when you're doing a track day, you want to be on the steering wheel. You want to have a nice bend and be able to get that turn. You don't want to be like this. I know a lot of times in Fast and the Furious, they're like this, going through their 20-speed transmission. No, you want to have a nice bend in the elbows and really be on that wheel. That'll allow you to really attack the corners nicely. But I'm going to move back so Lori could come on in and show this beautiful Alcantara wrap steering wheel. Love the red stripe, so you know where top dead center is. Stitching on the horn button, the GT-R badge. You do have these paddle size switch gear behind the steering wheel to go up and down that 6-speed DCT. It's almost like a pickleball paddle. That's like a new thing that's being played around the world is pickleball. And then the dash. It's old school, and I love it. You have that red tack that lets you know that you're in the Nismo. Goes all the way up to 7,000 RPM. Analog gauges everywhere else. A little bit of digital, but you know what? I like the way it's got a digital gear indicator, but that tack is spot on the money. And like I said, you're basically sitting in a compartment composed of leather and Alcantara. Even the headliner, the A-pillars, and these seats, I'm telling you, this is what you gotta do. I'm doing it right now. Lori, we're gonna start it up. No, we can't. Trust me, I wanna start this up. I wanna take this to Watkins Glen, Monticello. Those are some of the good ones located nearby. Maybe soon, Nissan will be sending me one of these so we could go on throttle through my twisty bits. I'm gonna give them a call and arrange that. But until that day, let's wrap it up from New York. All right, guys, it's been a freaking amazing time just being around this car, let alone dreaming about taking it on throttle. Got to thank the whole Nissan team, especially Casey, who actually developed the whole booth here at the New York Auto Show. Pretty much he does it for all the auto shows. So thank you to Casey and the whole Nissan team. But let me know what you think about this GT-R NISMO. Has Nissan struck gold with this car, even though it's not a major redesign and just a refresh? Let me know down in the comment section, and do you think it's worth the price? Or are you gonna go with one of the other brands? Porsche, Lamborghini, Ferrari, the list goes on and on. Let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raiti's Rides family. Of course, we gotta give it up to Godzilla behind the lens. Who's that? Lori Gibbons Raiti, working that camera like a champ. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.